And during COVID, I was very outspoken against the, particularly the vaccine mandates and just all of the tyrannical bullshit that we were fucking dealing with, and all the nonsense of like, wear a mask when you walk through to sit down, and then you can take it off and you can eat, and then if you put it on, and it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I was just very outspoken against all that shit. But yeah, the vaccine mandates in particular. And I had like posted a video of me on the streets of New York with a bullhorn, screaming in the bullhorn, the vaccine does not stop you from getting COVID. The vaccine does not stop you from spreading COVID. And, basically got deleted for misinformation, which is now obviously widely accepted as true. Yeah. And it's not like I'm getting my account back, but so they deleted my account, and that felt like, like my house burnt down or something. That was like devastating, because I had built my account like organically, and at that time I'd put in 5 years of like consistent, heartfelt captions, really like thinking about things, like deep captions, deep,
I mean, it's almost like a personal digital scrapbook.
It was like a diary almost, or, because I could go all the way back to, I wasn't the type that like deleted a bunch of a posts. I had my day one post, and it was like a story, a storyline of and you could see like the build up from like when I started my Instagram, I didn't have a business. I was just fighting. I was doing jujitsu. I was doing, comedy skits, just showing my personality and stuff like that. And I did that originally just to give, try to give back to sponsors that were sponsoring me for fighting in jujitsu.
Yeah.
That was the whole reason I made my Instagram. Then I realized the power of it once I, started to gain followers and stuff. And I was like, oh, wow, these are potential like customers too, and, and then I really like turned it up and put a lot of effort into it. And then it was also like, I was impacting a ton of people, with like, I had like 6 different people write me saying they were going to kill themselves and didn't because of my content and how positive it was. And, and I helped them in this, that, and the third way or the other with, mindset is everything, pushing yourself. And, I was always trying to lead by example. And I had so many people reaching out to me, telling me all the time that I was helping them. And, earlier when they asked like, what's your greatest accomplishment or your thing you're most proud of? I used to say my Instagram. Because at the time it was like, I was so like, I never imagined that I would be able to impact and help so many people. And
grow a business from it.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like this is the craziest thing, and it's funny because like, my dad, he's not old, but he's only 55, and my mom and dad are only 55. So, but he's just like, he's an old school kind of guy, like stuck in his ways a little bit, and like doesn't understand the power of, podcasts or internet or Instagram or any of that stuff. And like when I told him like, yeah, I'm gonna get out of the SEAL teams and pursue the UFC or like, and I'm gonna like work on my Instagram. He's like, what?
Like, the fuck is that?
Yeah, it doesn't register. Like,
it's almost like when kids are like, oh, I'm gonna play video games for a living, and the parents are like, what?
Yeah.
No, you're not. Fuck you.
And it's like these guys, like, and some of these dudes are making crazy money.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, at the time, like my Instagram was like the thing I was most proud of, and it was like my most valuable thing in my life. I literally made millions of dollars off of this app, and my business was so dependent on it. And but at the time, during that time, there wasn't really anybody speaking out against it on Instagram because so many people were afraid to lose their platforms. And and I was too, but I felt like it was way too important not to talk about. And and at the time, like, I'm a Navy SEAL, I have influence, I don't have the biggest platform, but 370,000 followers is not
nothing.
That's not nothing, and there's a lot of people looking for guidance at this time because this is a unprecedented time in history in our country. And, you know, and I'm like, where the fuck is everybody at? Like, where are the leaders at? Why aren't people stepping up? Where are the patriots? Like, what the fuck? Like, all these people preach about fucking leadership. Where are you at? Like, so I was like, hey, you know, in the absence of leadership, you need to lead. And so I was posting about this shit and then trying to encourage other people, everyday people, to stand up against this fucking tyranny that we're experiencing. And, you know, like, we don't even have bodily autonomy, and, you know, it's just wild. Like, aren't we the land of the free, the home of the brave? Where are you guys at? You know, this is the time. You know, our forefathers warned us about tyrannical government. This is it. This is what we're facing right now. Yeah. Like, and COVID, all this bullshit that we know is ridiculous. Like, you know, it felt like, I always say, like, I don't think COVID was a pandemic. I feel like it was an IQ test. And, you know, some people failed miserably. Other people, like, knew what was going on, but they were in positions where their hands were kind of tied, you know, and that was wrong. And I felt like if everyone who felt that way stood up and said enough, that shit would have ended like that, you know? And I felt like, you know, we need someone to start this shit, like, you know, and it was very few people doing that. And so again, I thought, there's a possibility I could lose my platform, but it's too important not to talk about. And unfortunately I did. I did lose my platform, and not just once, but, you know, and when that happened, it was crushed me, you know, devastating. But you know, luckily I had enough people that, like, kind of shouted me out and this and that, like, hey, help, this is what happened, regrow his page. And I got up to 60,000 followers, and they deleted that one. And then got up to 35,000, they deleted that one. Got up to 22,000, they deleted that.
Wow.
And I was like, fuck, man. Like, and every time it's getting drastically smaller and smaller. And, you know, and people are like, yeah, but, you know, wouldn't people just look you up again? And I'm like, how many people do you follow on Instagram? Like, a couple hundred?
Yeah, would
whatever,
you even notice if they went missing?
You were not going to fucking notice. Yeah. Like, if I took one follower that you follow away, how long do you think it would take you to notice?
Yeah, unless it's somebody
it's someone that you specifically seek out their content daily or something like that, or, you know, you're friends with them and you interact with them regularly or something like that. Like, which I did. I had a core audience of, like, hardcore, like, OG followers and supporters that, you know, are still with me to this day. But I have every single day, I have people messaging me like, oh, dang, I didn't know where you went. You know, like, I just found your account. Like, you know, I was wondering what happened to you. Or they'll like be like, oh, something will jog their memory, and they're like, oh yeah, where's Mitch? And they'll look for me. Oh, hey, it's weird. I was following you. And it's like, yeah, I know you were, but like, and people don't understand that, you know, and it sucks that, like, they could just, like, a big tech company or whatever could just, here's how you make a living. You're, you know, combat veteran, Navy SEAL, like, and this is how you make your living now, whatever. You don't agree with our narrative, you're gone. Yeah. And it's just like, dude, this doesn't just affect me. Like, I have employees with families that depend on a paycheck, you know what I mean? So that shit literally cost me millions of dollars. Yeah.